Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Noah Padaka.
And I'm Maddie Volmer.
According to the New Mexico Veterans Integration Center, there are around 3,400 homeless or at-risk veterans in the state, and there are many independent groups that are trying to help them.
Two groups in Las Cruces joined forces this month at the Las Cruces VFW Post and New Mexico State University's Military Veterans Program took part in the Helping Hands Stand Down. The event provided housing accessibility, disability services, social security services, and various other resources to help local veterans.
We had the Veterans Homeless Stand Down. I'm part of the VA, the El Paso VA, and we try to bring all the community together to help homeless veterans, to help veterans in need, to be a service for them and be a light for them if they're experiencing hard times, trying to get them rehabilitated, trying to allow them to pick themselves up, and sometimes you just need a hand to do that. And the VA partners with the community to get all this stuff done.
We hope to capture any veteran that was currently experiencing homelessness or any type of need, and that we were able to provide that for them.
Initial filings for unemployment benefits in New Mexico dropped last week compared to the week prior, the U.S. Department of Labor said. New jobless claims fell to 659, down from 873 the week before. U.S. unemployment claims have been continuing to drop on a weekly basis. Tennessee saw the largest percentage increase in weekly claims, with claims jumping by 43.8%. Meanwhile, the Virgin Islands saw the largest percentage drop in the new claims, with claims dropping by 50%. A leading oil and gas producer in the Permian Basin announced it was expanding assets outside the region in a $53 billion deal amid a recent string of large sales in the industry. Chevron announced yesterday morning it planned to acquire Hess Corporation in an attempt to diversify Chevron's portfolio. Chevron has also acquired natural gas assets in the Gulf of Mexico and Southeast Asia. The deal is set to close in the first half of 2024. And it's beautiful outside with that rain, Noah.
You know, it is getting beautiful, but those storms are moving through a little bit. Jenny Hazlett tracking those for us. Hey there, Jenny.
That's right, guys. I am loving the weather outside right now. As we can see, it's still pretty cloudy, still pretty drizzly. Looking at that live look outside of Milton Hall right now, we can see over in the corner that flag is not moving very much, but there is a breeze blowing out of the northeast or northwest. So if we take a look at those current conditions, we can see that it's 65 degrees outside, but because of that rain, it does feel like 61. Winds blowing out of the north-northwest at 10 miles per hour, a humidity of 50%, dew point of 46 degrees, and barometer reading 29.92 inches. Now, we did have a high today of reaching 75, which is right below our average of 76 around this time of year. We did reach a low of 50 degrees, but back in 2003, 20 years ago, it was 86 degrees outside, and taking it just 5 years later, we did have a low of 32 degrees. Now, we did get some rainfall this morning, and we did get some rain right now, so we have our precipitation at 0.16 inches, leaving our yearly rainfall at 5.22 inches, which will change later this week. Now, stay tuned because I will have a look at where that storm is heading later on in the show. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Jenny. The New Mexico State Police are working to make the highway safer. Over the weekend, police actively looked for drivers who looked to be impaired. They arrested 22 suspected impaired drivers in Albuquerque. The chief of the state police says he hopes the arrests serve as a reminder of the seriousness of drinking and driving. Each year, the state police takes about 500 impaired drivers off the roads.
El Paso is getting an exciting visit from a 12 foot puppet, This puppet, known as Little Amal, represents a 10-year-old Syrian refugee as a celebration of migration and pays homage to half of all refugees that are children. Now, Little Amal has traveled throughout the country and will soon travel across the border into Mexico. Amal will journey to the U.S.-Mexico border for 2 days, starting tomorrow at 4 p.m. at Armijo Park, going all the way to the Healing Garden at Ascarte Park in El Paso.
We will have more on Amal later on this week. Stay tuned. Jenny will be back with your national forecast. Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Tuesday,
where news matters. An important warning for you to know about now, regarding some electric scooters sold under the name brand Zoos and Twos. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission is urging consumers to immediately stop using Twos Elite 60-volt electric scooters because of the risk of a fire. The scooters were sold in Twos urban ride stores and in New York City and online. The warning comes after 2 people, including a 7-year-old child, died in an apartment fire back in April. Fire officials determined the blaze was caused by the scooter's battery.
And it is getting really cold here in southern New Mexico.
I'm really hoping I don't have to throw that jacket over my Halloween costume. Jenny, is that the case this year? What can you tell us?
So I have some bad news, guys. That is not the case this year, or it is the case. You will have to put a jacket on for that October 31st. Now, I want to bring it to midweek. We can see that we're going to see those average temperatures. El Nino is not going to affect the nation too much. We can see especially in the southwest. As we move on to this weekend, we can see those colder temperatures are coming in faster. And then as we move on to later in the next week, we can see that it is going to get pretty chilly. We can see that we're going to hit temperatures in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 40s. So really cold for this time of year, and you're definitely going to have to keep that into mind when you are going out for Halloween and trick-or-treating. Now, as we take a look at my next national map, I really want to focus on the southwest and what's happening here in Las Cruces and El Paso and that storm that is moving through. Now, that storm is not going anywhere tonight. It is going to rain all throughout the weekend. We're going to see, or all throughout the night, we are going to see that precipitation. So keep that in mind on your drive home and as you're headed home tonight. Now, we did get some footage in from Hugo Perez, one of our advisors here in for News 22. We can see that it is raining right outside Milton Hall right here, and we can see it's starting to puddle up even. Now, if you do have any footage that you would like to send to News 22, send it to our Instagram or our X account at NMSU News 22. Now, that's all I have for your national conditions, but don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with that local weather. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching News 22 Tuesday. Taking a look at those temperatures across New Mexico today, we can see it's 67 up in Farmington, 63 in Santa Fe, 68 in Albuquerque. Taking it on down to Roswell, it is pretty warm at 83 degrees, and in Deming, 57. Now, tomorrow, we aren't going to see those temperatures increase very much. We can see Farmington up at 71, Santa Fe in 62, Albuquerque, 67, Socorro, 68, Las Cruces, it'll be 72, and in Deming, 72 as well. Taking it on into Alamogordo tonight, we can see that they are going to experience some thunderstorms with a low of 50 degrees and tomorrow a high of 71. In Truth or Consequences, a low of 52 tonight, some showers, and a high of 73 degrees. As we move on into Silver City, it's going to be 46 for your low tonight and then 65 for your high with partially cloudy skies. And in the city of the Crosses tonight, it's going to be 50 degrees outside. Be warned of those thunderstorms, as I mentioned before, and tomorrow it will be 72. Now, don't go anywhere. Later, I will have that 5-day forecast for you, but back to the desk for more news.
Thanks, Jenny. I'm really going to miss those warm temperatures. But now let's go to football. And I heard Louisiana Tech is playing the Aggies right now.
Hopefully we can keep that winning streak as the Aggies do play over in Louisiana tonight. But is there any updates potentially with sports? Jose, what can you tell us about that Aggie game? And what's going on in sports?
That's right. Right now, the Aggies are down against Louisiana Tech, but hopefully they could turn it around and win.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports. This is KRWG-TV.
Welcome back. I'm Jose Munoz, and let's talk sports. NMSU football is coming off a dominant performance in the Battle of I-10 over the UTEP Miners. The Aggies defeated UTEP 28-7, marking the first time NMSU has beaten UNM and UTEP on the road in the same season since 1923. As the Aggies are riding a 3-game winning streak, they are playing now against Louisiana Tech over in Louisiana. The Aggies are hoping to extend their winning streak after the newscast catch the rest of the game on CBS Sports Network. NMSU women's soccer has secured a first-round bye in Conference USA tournament with a recent tie this past weekend. The Aggies closed their last home game in a tight matchup against Sam Houston, as 90 minutes was not enough to decide a victor. NMSU's last regular season game will be on the road as they head to take on Western Kentucky on Friday at 5 p.m. The Aggies can secure a title with a win or tie this Friday. NMSU volleyball looks to start catching their stride after this past weekend's win. The Aggies are coming off an upsetting sweep to Western Kentucky, losing both matches by 3-0 sets. And that did not change against Jacksonville State, losing 3-2 in sets on Friday. On Saturday, though, the Aggies turned it around in dominating fashion, winning 3-0 in sets. The Aggies have a week to prepare for their next matchup against Chicago State, here at home at 6 p.m. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Jenny will be back to look at your 5-day forecast.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at our top stories.
The New Mexico Veterans Integration Center has around 3,400 homeless or at-risk veterans in the state. Many groups have joined the movement to help them.
And now let's go ahead and look at that 5-day forecast.
Thanks, guys. So it's going to be a beautiful weekend this weekend. Highs in the 80s, so make sure to be prepared for that. But Noah and Maddie, you may need your umbrella for tomorrow. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Jenny. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Tune in tomorrow night for more news.
From everyone here at News 22, thank you for joining us. Have a great night and stay dry.
This news brief in Español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Buenas noches, soy Diego Velázquez y estas son las noticias de hoy. Las figuras para beneficios de desempleo en Nuevo México disminuyeron la semana pasada en comparación con la semana anterior. Este informe del Departamento de Trabajo de los Estados Unidos, las nuevas solicitudes de desempleo cayeron a 659 frente a las 873 de la semana anterior. Las solicitudes de desempleo en los Estados Unidos continuarán disminuyendo de manera constante. En Tennessee regresó el mayor aumento porcentual en las solicitudes semanales, con un aumento del 43.8. Mientras tanto, las Islas Vírgenes registraron la mayor disminución porcentual en las nuevas solicitudes, con una caída del 50%. Mañana y el jueves, una marioneta de 12 pies viene de visita a la frontera. Llamada Little Ann, quien representa a una niña refugia de Siria de 10 años, emprendió un viaje a través de los Estados Unidos y México en septiembre. Viene de visita a El Paso y Juárez. Little Amal se ha convertido en un símbolo global de los derechos humanos. La misión de Amal es llamar la atención sobre los innumerables niños que se ven obligados a huir de la guerra, la violencia y las persecuciones. En este viaje, conocido como The Walk, es uno de los festivales públicos gratuitos más grandes. Mañana la primera presentación será a las 4 de la tarde en Armadillo Park, en Segundo Barrio, y después a las 5:30 en Healing Gardens, en Azcárate Park. La gira de Marx inició en septiembre en el este de los Estados Unidos y la semana pasada recorrieron varias ciudades en Texas y terminó en San Diego en noviembre. Esto es todo de mi parte. Que tenga bonita noche. Yo soy Diego Velázquez, Noticias 22.